everyone, I'm Heather Poduska, star maker for entrepreneurs who want to unlock their potential, command any stage, and make blockbuster profits. Welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a brand that makes you happy and profitable. Here we go.
Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska and welcome to this episode of Thrive, Style Your Authentic Beauty with my guest, Catherine Storing. Catherine is a fashion stylist, speaker, and best-selling author of her new book, Styling Faith, The Complete Guide to Style. In this episode, Catherine talks to us about why it's so important to create a polished image if you want to make more money in your business. She shares with us how she was able to grow her business once she understood and embraced how she wanted to express her authentic self through her image. And finally, she shares with us how she was able to create a unique and profitable niche by combining her two loves of fashion and her personal faith. Catherine is an inspirational brand and shares great content. I hope you enjoy the show. Hi everyone, I'm Heather Poduska and welcome to Thrive, the show where I bring you tips, resources, and people to help you create a brand that makes you happy and profitable. And I want to thank you all for being here. This show is 30 minutes of high value content from industry leaders who are growing their business, making a difference, and rocking their brands. And no one is rocking their brand quite like my special guest today, Catherine Storing, who combines her eye for fashion with her personal faith. Catherine is a fashion stylist, a personal shopper, a best-selling author, speaker, style coach, virtual stylist, and faithpreneur. And I think we're going to hear more about that in just a little bit. Catherine was born and raised in the Dominican Republic, the land of beautiful beaches, friendly people, and gorgeous women. Obviously, Catherine, and dangerous curves. However, she didn't fit in. Her hair was too curly, her legs too lanky, and her mouth was too big and opinionated. Every day she wished to be more accepted and was not, despite looking to be accepted as she was, despite not looking like other traditional Dominican women. Catherine's journey of self-discovery not only gave her the ability to see beauty in others, but also to guide others through the process of finding their own beauty and strength. And that is so beautiful. So I think that we'll start right there. So thank you so much for being here, Catherine. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. My pleasure. And thank you for the lovely introduction.
Yeah, so to get people familiar with you who don't know you yet, tell everybody a little bit about what you do. What kinds of things you do for women.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I find myself doing this every day wherever I go. So I'm a fashion stylist and I help women and a few brave men to look good from the inside out so they can do what they have been called to do. And it's so amazing how I had to do that for myself. And now I do it on a regular basis where people that I know very well or others that I don't know so well will either text me their outfit or will jump into my face and say, what do you think of this outfit? Did I do it okay? And that's how I help my clients. I help them to find their style so they can actually step out into their light and be seen in an amazing way and be able to have their look match their brand.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. Since since you brought up brand, we'll just talk about that right away. That in order to have a strong brand, you have to feel comfortable with who you are. So I know that's something that we talk a lot about with my clients, and I know that's something that you actually help clients embody, right? So that they can step out and really live and promote their brand.
Absolutely, because what happens is many women that were either in the corporate world and knew how to do that very well and had, so to speak, in uniform, they knew how to wear that uniform, and now they're working for themselves and they don't know how to do it. Or they have worked at the home the whole time and now they're stepping out into network events and conferences and training, and now the computer is not their zone anymore. They have to step out from behind the screen and then they don't know who they are. Like, how do I dress? They have this amazing brand online. They look amazing. It's happened to me many times that I meet someone that I have met online and we're kind of friends, quote unquote, right? And I see them at an event and their look doesn't match what they have been portraying online. And it's sad because I can see it in their faces. Like they see me and they will say, "Oh, exactly the same like your pictures." And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my job, baby.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then they'll have the excuses. Oh, I was running late, or I'm only here to learn. And if they were there just for those reasons, or if they didn't mind, then they wouldn't feel the need to give me a disclaimer. Like I'm not saying anything to them, but they know that the reflection that they're giving is not their best or how they would like to be seen.
Yeah, and you brought up a really good point too about the computer, because look at us. We are at our computer, but we have an audience. So it's not just stepping out, going to a networking event or a conference or going to speak publicly. It's the computer as well, because video is so incredibly important these days. So it's one thing to have a static picture that you've gone to the professional photographer for and you look all, blinged out for that session, and then you still have to perform behind your camera when there's Periscope, there's Blab, there's YouTube. You still have to look on brand with your look. So I think that it becomes more and more important, don't you think?
Yes, it does, especially when I seen this too. They will have an amazing picture, like your picture right there, right, with a beautiful red dress and they have the hair, makeup done. And then I jump in here and see you. I can say, yeah, that's Heather.
Well, I have my red. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Right. So that's the thing. If you're gonna have an amazing photo shot, right, and it's professional, and you're gonna jump on Blab, which a lot of people are doing, or you're gonna jump on Periscope. I'm not saying you have to get all like a glamour shot, but the look that you're gonna represent has to do two things: represent your brand very well, and represent what you do. If you're saying that you are an expert at what you do and you dress like an amateur, people are gonna treat you like an amateur and they're gonna want to pay you amateur prices. So the way that you dress affects not only what people think of you, or it also affects how much they're going to pay you.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I was just talking to somebody else about this the other day about brand, and there are three real key components to branding. It's clarity, so you have to have a clear message, which is a lot of the things that I work with people. Consistency, so once you have that message has to be consistent across all platforms, and that message is also communicated through your image. So that image has to be consistent across all platforms. It doesn't have to be the exact same picture, but it has to be the same on-brand level of professionalism. And, I often say this to people as well, that casual is a level of style. It's not a style. So you can be casual some people might be casual in a cashmere sweater, and someone else might be casual in a tank top. But you have to be clear about what your brand is and show up as the best version of that all the time, right?
Absolutely, especially when you're saying you hit a great point, casual. What does casual look like? I don't know if you've been to corporations that they have a casual Friday, and people think it's a free for all. And it's Friday, I can wear whatever I want. Casual means that I'm going to demonstrate who I am via my style. And if that means that you're gonna wear flip-flops and cut-off jeans, which I have seen unfortunately, or a sweatshirt that is stained or too tight or too baggy, that's not what casual is. And that's why I had to address that like rather frequently on my blog and on Pinterest. I even created a board called Casual Done Right, because casual is a chance to shine and say, okay, I'm gonna step away from the uniform, from my regular, and I'm gonna show you my flair. I'm gonna show you who I am, and that gives people an idea of who you really are and get more comfortable with you. But that doesn't mean sweatpants or yoga pants or sneakers even. It just means a more relaxed but still polished look.
Right. So tweet this: casual does not mean sloppy. That's right. Casual does not mean sloppy. And the higher the polish, the higher the perceived value, right?
Exactly.
And the special sauce that you put on is that you help people create their own uniform. So it's not the uniform of the company or your parents or society, that it's your own uniform expressing who you are in the best possible way, and and adding fun and sexy and cuteness and whatever that is for your brand and your personality and how you want to express that.
Yeah, that's so important that you mentioned that, because I have seen so many people go to a stylist and they spend all this money on clothes, and then they go home and they cannot wear a single piece
Mm.
because the stylist was looking at trends. Let's make you very trendy. But if you're not a very trendy person, if you don't want to be wearing leather pants, which I totally would, that's not
And they would look
everyone, right?
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But when I take someone shopping, I get to know them first. I know who they are, what they do, where they hang out, where they want to be, and I uncover their own style. So I'm not a stylist that says I'm gonna make you look like a model, because not everyone wants to look like that. They want to look like themselves but better. They want to have that look to the next level and still be comfortable. One of the main things that I hear on a regular basis is, Catherine, I want to be comfortable. And then I tell them, of course, I understand that. Do you see the way I'm dressed? This is comfortable for me. For some people, having all the makeup and the hair and all the jewelry that I wear, it works for me. But when I work with someone, I make sure that whatever we buy, whatever I put together for them, represents who they are. So when they look at the mirror, they say, that's her. That's the person that I saw in my mind that I couldn't visualize, or that's him, the man that I always wanted to be, and now I get to see him. So it's really a recognition of the person and the image that you see inside of yourself on the outside.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And you said too that this is you. Like you look so beautiful in all of the jewelry, and you really have a clear understanding of who you are, what your brand is, and that's harder for some people. So how did that happen for you? How were you able to really get that clarity around what your brand is?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the compliments. I appreciate that very much. And that this was not always the case. I did not look like this. I was not this confident. I struggled with, how do I style this big, blob of hair? How do I do that? How do I style my body when my body is not the typical body that I used to see all the time? But I had that yearning, and that yearning continued to grow. And I used to see people with the accessories. That's the first thing that I saw. And I'm like, I would love to do that. I will see these beautiful girls with all these bracelets. And it was so overwhelming to me. I didn't know how to do the accessories thing. So I didn't stop there. I continued to search and say to myself, who do I want to become? How do I want to look like? How do I embrace my look? And this is me embracing the hair, finally figured out the product, figured out how to style it in a sense that works for me. It doesn't work for everybody else. Some people don't like it, and that's their right. But the person that needs to love it the most, it's me, and I do. So that's what I need to do for myself. I wanted to step out of the darkness, and I wanted to really be seen. And I had to work on that and really find out, who is Catherine? What does Catherine want? How does Catherine love herself more than anybody else can love her and see her and understand her? Once I realized that, forget it. I started to wear all my jewelry, not all at the same time, but quite a lot. My hair remained big, and I wear color. It's almost like a rainbow.
So
And that.
let me ask you then, when you did that, and how did it feel? And then how did that change your business when you really embraced who you were and were able to express that more clearly?
Absolutely. It felt amazing. It just felt like I have come home, and I have this confidence. And I can say that because people tell me that all the time. All the time they tell me, Catherine, you look so confident. And I feel confident and look confident because I know who I am, and I love myself. And then my business just flourished because I became magnetic. People everywhere they go, everywhere I go, hey, how do you buy that and what do you do? And whenever they ask me, every single time, it happened to me last night. I met someone and I told them, hey, I'm going to Atlanta, Georgia to give a speech. And then, but first I'm taking 2 clients shopping. And she's like, what do you mean? They want to go shopping? Like, that's one of the things that people struggle with. They do not want to go shopping.
Yeah.
And then I say, yeah, that's what I do. I'm a stylist. And immediately, the first thing they say, always, every single time, oh, that's why this is going on. Like, that's why you have all of this.
Yeah.
Because you're an expert. So I don't have to say I'm an expert. My look, in my case, is my brand. And for all of us, but for me, very specifically, my look is my biggest commercial, it's my biggest business card. So all I have to do is show up, and they say, Catherine knows what she's doing because she's doing it for herself.
Yeah, and I think that's so awesome. And I find that with my clients too, is the message, once they have the message and they, you're expressing, helping people express that through the image. But when they have the words and they can communicate it and they feel grounded and knowing how to express their value, their personality, what they do, who their audience is, then they have that confidence too and that same magnetism. And also once they kind of have that, then they have a clearer sense of how they want to dress, because once you have that brand foundation, then some of those pieces start to reveal themselves even more. And don't you find this with your clients? The more confidence that they develop, the sort of freer they are. And I think sometimes people think when they get branded or they get a stylist that it narrows them, but I actually think it frees them up to really, really express who they are. Don't you find that?
I totally agree. And in your business, for example, you're a brand specialist and you know how to do brands. But guess what? When I go to your website, your brand is on point. Your message is on point. So you have done the homework for yourself. Or when you say one of my packages is $5,000 or $10,000, people don't bat an eye because they say, hey, she did it for herself. She's going to be able to do it for me. And that's what people have to understand. Before people hire you, they're making a decision about who you are within 10 seconds. And it is your job to deliver the message that you want to deliver before they make that decision.
Right. Yeah. And when I was singing, I sang for a long time opera, and I had a lot of voice teachers. And one of them said to me, and I always repeat this, is that people see you before they hear you. So you could be the best singer in the world, you could be the best entrepreneur in the world, but if you walk onto the stage and you don't look like your business, like your expertise, you still might make an impact, but you're overcoming a hurdle right from the gate. And you don't want to do that. You want to walk on and be like, I've got them. I've got their attention. That this is, they can see my value. So it's so important to have that visual impact.
Yes, it is. And it's really giving yourself a heads up, giving yourself the advantage before you even begin, that they're excited about what you're going to say, what you're going to show them, to find out who you are, because there's something about you, and it really is magnetic. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out what it was. People wanted to sit next to me at conferences. They gravitate, like they almost like jump at me. Sometimes it's a little scary, but it's the confidence. It's really, there's something about this girl. And I want to just make a point to say, that's not being conceited. Knowing who you are and stepping into your light is not being conceited. It really is where you belong. Understanding who you are, you can still remain humble and be kind and be gracious and talk to everyone, but at the same time, owning who you are and stepping into that step that you were designed and created to be, it's where you need to be. So actually, it's selfish not to do that when you just stay in your little corner.
Yeah, and I would say that being conceited is actually insecurity, right? It's not, you're not in who you are. That's like, I'm better than you. I'm putting myself up here because I actually don't feel comfortable in who I am. And when you do feel confident, when you feel confident about the way you look, when you feel confident about how to communicate what you do, you actually empower other people to step up. So it's not just about you. When people see you and they say, oh, Catherine looks so beautiful, I wish I could look like that. They want to aspire to that. So you are inspiring them to be their best. So that's something that people have to keep in mind. It's not conceit, it's ownership, it's personal power, but it's also empowerment for your audience.
Yes, it is. And it's really, if you think about it, if you are confident, you're not going to be worrying about going to a big conference and delivering a speech. You're not going to worry about reaching out to the people that you have been called to serve. So really, it is your duty to suit up. And I always compare that to being a superhero. You never, ever, ever saw Superman with shorts or yoga pants. Whenever he was out to
Let's hope not.
Right? But whenever he set out to save the world, or to save someone, what did he do? He put on his little tights, right? The little Speedo thing, and he put the cape on. So people recognize and they say, that's Superman. So it's the same for you. And it takes away the fear. When you're looking fierce and you're looking really good, the only thing left in your mind is your gift. And we all have an amazing gift, like crazy, awesome gift. And Sometimes it sits on a shelf collecting dust because we are so afraid to step out. And when I say the light, I mean the spotlight. I mean that spot, like your little soapbox that you stand up and you say, "This is who I am. These are my gifts. Come and get them."
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And speaking about bookshelves, I see your book behind you on the shelf. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I cannot stop looking at it. I'm so happy. So both my books are there, and it has just been a blessing and amazing. And I just want to point out that right, I interview 8 experts, and the top expert right here, it says Heather Podoska.
Yay!
So
Oh, that
I
was
am.
so much fun. So hold it up,
Oh,
hold it up to the camera so people can
there
see.
it
Styling
is.
Faith. Oh, cool, perfect. Yeah. So
There.
talk to us about what the book is about.
This book, as you can see, it's super thick. It
Mhm.
is everything I know about style and more. It is part memoir, part guide. I really poured my soul into this book because I wanted this book to exist when I was growing up. I
Mm,
wanted someone to come alongside me and say, "Catherine, you are beautiful.
mm,
Catherine, there is nothing wrong with you. Own who you are, own your weird, like fly your weird flag with pride. And this is how you can do it. It's step-by-step guide to look good from the inside out. And then the reason why we look good. Yes, I'm a fashion stylist, but I'm not all about just the looks and the high-end couture and all that awesome stuff that I love. It really is about showcasing your beauty and your gifts in a way that is comfortable for you, in a way that people can approach you and say, "Wow, I want to know I want to know who she is. I want to know what she does. I want to know what he's doing." And that's what the book is doing. And it's really a step by step. I have put in so many guides. There are so many goodies in here. There's a gift in here, but you have to buy the book. And it is like my baby. And now I'm giving it forth because what I found out for myself, this is my gift. This is how I did it. And you can get it on this book.
So talk to me, Catherine. It's Styling Faith, and you called yourself a faithpreneur. And I know that your personal faith is really important to you. So one of the things I loved about you is that you crafted this totally authentic brand that combined all of the things that are unique to you that you really value. And I think that's something that I find that people struggle with in their branding is how do I bring all of who I am into a brand that I can use in my business, in my life, that that works? And so talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really about embracing who you are. There comes a point, and especially as you get older, you get more comfortable, hopefully, with who you are. And it
Hmm.
really is understanding who am I and loving who you are and saying, "I am the sum of all these things." Okay, it's an addition and not a subtraction, and that's what people do all the time. I'm gonna present a little portion of me. Then what happens is when somebody wants to connect with you, they know something is missing. They know that you're not being your authentic self. So when I put my faith together with my love for fashion, my love for confidence, and my love for encouraging people, then I am not fragmented. It is
Hmm.
all of who I am, all of who I want to present to the world. And that is a gift that we give to everybody else. And that's why I wrote the book, because how I feel every day, how I'm able to step out and just be really confident no matter what is happening, is what I want everyone to experience every single day.
And didn't it help you identify with your audience and have your audience identify with you? Because not everybody is going to be drawn to somebody who's talking about personal faith. But on the other hand, people who are drawn to that are going to be like, yes, that is my woman, right? So talk to me a little bit about how that empowered you to find your audience and them find you.
Absolutely. The thing is that we are not called to serve everyone.
Hmm.
And I just want to say that and pause. We are not called to serve everyone. Yes, I am a fashion stylist. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be able or want to style every single person. In order for me to be myself and be really good at what I do, I have to love what I'm doing. So I have to have a connection. So I'm not just going and say, anybody that wants to work with me, you can work with me, because I'm going to be doing a disservice. I want to make sure that when I work with someone, we have an amazing time. We already do a lot of things that we don't want to do. So I want us, when we come together, to be fun, like you're jumping, you're excited, you cannot wait to do it. And that means that we have to have some things in common. And I'm not hitting people over the head with my faith, but I'm very upfront with it. I want them to know that there's going to be some language that I'm going to be using. There's going to be some principles that I follow that have to do with my faith. I will work with you if you are not a faith person or spiritual person, but I'm gonna share my principles, and what I believe are gonna come through, because it's who I am, and I need to be true to
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the show. There's still more great content to come, but I wanted to take just a minute to talk to you about a new course I've created called Close Any Room. You may have noticed that all of my guests know how to speak about their businesses in a clear and compelling way. But that's something a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, and it's something you need to know how to do so you can convert your audience into more sales. And that's why I've created this course. It's a 6-week audio course to teach you how to craft a signature talk so that you can authentically give value and close more of your audience from the stage. In the class, you learn how to create a clear and compelling point of view, how to organize your content and give great value to your audience without giving away the farm, how to structure your talk so that it seamlessly closes your audience at the end without feeling salesy. And I also give you templates and instructions how to create marketing materials, a speaker sheet, and all kinds of sign-up sheets when you're giving your talks. And finally, what everybody's hot to know, I also give you tips and resources on how to find speaking gigs. It's an all-inclusive course so that you can start closing and selling more from the stage. And as my free gift to you for tuning into the podcast, I'm giving you my free webinar, also called Close Any Room, and you can listen to it at clearvoicebranding.com/close-any-room. And it will give you lots of tips and information to get you started on how to create that signature talk that sells. Okay, we're going to get back to the show now. There's still more great content to come. Thanks for joining me.
And this is something that I know you help your clients to do. Who is your ideal client? Who do you want to work with? And then talk to that person. So imagine if I wanted to be a faithpreneur, it's just someone that's an entrepreneur that is a faith person, right? And I don't use that language. Well, they're not going to know that I'm talking to them. Mm-hmm. But once I know this is my message, this is who I am, and I'm going to help you to look good from the inside out, they're like, oh, wow, I know what that is. I can relate to that. Let me hear more. Mm-hmm. And that's why I knew combining my faith with what I do was the best way to serve the people that I know I have been called to serve.
And didn't it just make you feel great too, to know that you could have that as, you know, with you all the time, that it wasn't something, like you said, that you had to compartmentalize to a different part of your life?
Yeah, it was freeing. It was so freeing. I remember going on to a conference on stage, and this lady cried because she said for years she had been holding her own beliefs hostage. She had been hiding that from people, and she said, I was afraid of what people were going to say. And it was beautiful to see, but it pained me that she wasted so many years not being her authentic self all the time. Once she stepped out, came out of the closet with her faith, her business just went crazy because all these people that wanted to work with her realized, oh my gosh, she's just like me. She believes what I believe in. And she wrote a book. The book did really well. And now, you know, and she lived happily ever after, right? So that's the key. Be who you are, and the right people will raise their hand and say, yes, I want to work with you.
Yeah, that is so awesome. So, it's freeing for you. It helps people self-identify. So when you come out of the closet as your authentic self, you light your brand on fire. Really, you really do. So I want to ask you about another thing, because you've mentioned it a couple of times as we've been talking, and that is your speaking. And I know that you do a lot of speaking. So is that what's working for you in your business these days to help you connect with more people? How are you really growing your audience? What's working for you in your business right now?
Well, yeah, doing things like this. I am
Hmm.
in social media. I'm a huge nerd and I love everything that's coming out. So I love Periscope. I'm there regularly. I do Twitter a lot. I do LinkedIn, not as much. And Blab, it's something that is coming really close and near to my heart because I'm able to collaborate. On Periscope, it's a one-sided conversation. Yes, they can type their comments, but I'm not interacting with them. With Blab, having the option of having up to 4 people to, it's like having a mastermind. Who wouldn't
Right.
want to do that? So I am speaking, doing interviews like this, and really going on stage and just sharing my passion and getting myself in front of as many people as I can. So instead of being one-to-one, I'm doing one-to-many. And that's really what seems to be working. And just as an aside, I have learned how to do this camera thing, how to do video. 3 years ago, if you go to YouTube and you look at my first video, which I left up because I wanted people to see it, it's painful. Like it's painful to watch because I'm so rigid. I'm so tense. I'm like a robot, not trying to have everything perfect. When in reality, you can relax. If you mess up, you mess up. You're just having a conversation between 2 people. And if you want to do something, you might not be perfect right away, but the more you try and you continue to be persistent, you're going to be really comfortable to the point where when somebody reaches out or you have an opportunity to get on stage, you don't only say yes, you say yes, I'm all there. I'm all in.
Yeah, and I love what you said. I mean, done is better than perfect, right? And jump
Yes.
in and get started. However, I will say you have a really clear message, and part of your ability to relax on your interviews and on stage is that you know what you're talking about. You know what your message is, you know what your value is, you are comfortable with yourself, you are comfortable with your look, and I think the more that you do that, that allows you that freedom. There was a skater named Michelle Kwan, is that her name? She was an Olympic skater a couple of Olympics ago, and someone interviewed her and said, you're so free on stage or free on the ice. And she said, yeah, that's because my technique is really strong. And to have that foundation, and also what you said, of practicing saying your message, of practicing, of getting on stage over and over and over again, of really honing that message and your look, right, of feeling confident is what allows you to have that freedom and the magnetism. Because if you're constantly thinking, what should I say? What should I wear? You're focused on you and your anxiety as opposed to really focusing on your message. So I really loved what you said about that. That's awesome. So Catherine, we're kind of coming to our end of our time, and I love to ask my audience or my guests, what are you most grateful for?
I am grateful for the courage to step out. I'm so grateful for that because for so many years, for actually like 20 years, I was very shy, behind, very, very secluded and not shining. And to have the courage to step out and be criticized or for people to not get who I am and what I do, it can be scary. So to be able to be given the courage to say, I'm gonna step out for that little girl that wanted someone to step out for her, that wanted someone to stand their hand and say, Catherine, you're beautiful. And now I get to say, Heather, you're beautiful. You are beautiful. Like everyone is beautiful. And I have that flexibility and that love for that because I know what it feels like to be on the other side. So the courage comes from knowing that what it feels like to not be on the spotlight. So I'm really grateful for courage.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I'm grateful for you for being here. I mean, that was so lovely. And thank you for sharing all your expertise. Now, if somebody wants to have your expert eye and have a really fun time looking fabulous, how can they get in touch with you? Shoot out your URL. You can type it in the chat. Let's hear it. And how can they get your book? Let's get all your information out there.
Absolutely. So if they want to get in touch with me, they can head over to stylingfaith.com. They can also type my name, CatherineStoring.com, and it takes them there. I am constantly on social media under Style Storing. So if you're ready to take your look and your brand to the next level, and you want to do it with fun, and you want to do it with panache, and you want to be unique, I'm your coach. If that's what you're looking for, stylingfaith.com is the place to go. If you go to Amazon, you can get Styling Faith. You can type Styling Faith. You can type Catherine Storing. And my 2 books are going to pop up. They are both available on Kindle and on print.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for being here too. And I also want to add that if you want to become a great speaker, a great guest on podcasts or interviews to really get your brand out there, I also invite you to go to clearvoicebranding.com/close-any-room, and you can watch a free webinar on how to become a great speaker that gets paid from the stage. So I want to thank you again, Catherine, for being here, and thank you all for being here as well. Until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Catherine. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Thrive. I loved having you here. I love having you as part of my community. And if you're enjoying the show, I would love it if you share it with your friends on Twitter, on Facebook, or wherever they're hanging out. I also want to let you know you can leave me feedback or comments. I love hearing from you. Just post those at heatherpoduska.com. You can also leave suggestions for topics that you'd like to know more about, or if there's someone you'd really like to see on the show, let me know that as well. Okay, until next time, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye.